Hi, this mini video is on writing a thesis statement for a literary analysis. I have posted a resource for you on Blackboard under Content, Writing a Literary Analysis, How to Write a Thesis Statement. We will go over that resource a little bit in this discussion today, but I thought a mini video might also be useful. First, let's talk about what a thesis statement is not. A thesis statement, unlike what you may have been taught before, is not the main idea of your paper. Instead, the thesis statement is a position that you are taking within an argument that you are going to prove with analysis of the text. Okay? It is not proving a theme. For example, you would not try to prove that revenge is a theme in Othello. It is, we know it is, there's no use in proving it. We are not proving something about society in our text. We may be exploring human experiences that may have implications for society. That's very true. It's a very big, important function of literature and of art. But that is not what we are proving. We are proving something about the play, something about the novel, something about the text. Okay? We are not proving an analysis. So in other words, what you don't want to do is maybe find a metaphor and spend your whole essay in showing why this metaphor, a rose, is a metaphor for love, right? No, you may use an analysis of a metaphor to prove your argument, but you are not proving the metaphor in your paper. Instead, you are proving your position, and you are using analysis to prove that position. Okay, so let's go ahead. I'm going to share my screen now. And I'm going to take you to the resource that I have posted on Blackboard. And you'll see here that we have a whole handout from the Writing Center at North Carolina at Chapel. And it gives a really good description of what to do when writing a thesis statement. First of all, you'll notice that it is a single sentence usually that comes at the end of your introduction. It takes a position within an argument, and it is a summary of that position. Okay, it is going to be about the play that must be, or the text that must be proven through analysis. For example, you don't want to spend a paper, say, for example, arguing, many trees have leaves. Because all you would have to do is list all of the trees that have leaves, and you could say many trees have leaves. Well, so what? We knew that already going in, right? So it's going to have to be something that somebody familiar with your text, familiar with literary analysis, could argue against. Your literary analysis is going to answer a question. Now, what you're going to do here is you're going to use the essay prompt to help you come up with that question. You do not have to answer every single question within the essay prompt. Those are meant to help you come up with your thesis statement and keep you on track with the analysis I want you to consider. When you're using your essay prompt and coming up with a question, you will very likely create a working thesis statement. Now, go ahead and start working with that working thesis statement, but realize that as you're writing, as you're doing more and more analyzing, that thesis statement may change. That's okay. Just go back and change your thesis statement from what it was before. Okay, so if we look here, we see a lot of instructions about how to create a thesis statement. These are all very good. I want to scroll down then to a thesis statement that is for a literary analysis. All right, and this handout shows us example of a bad thesis statement. Okay. Mark Twain's Huckleberry Finn is a great American novel. Okay, well, that's a matter of opinion. And in order to argue that, You'd have to set up what is the criteria for a great American novel. You would have to prove expertise and then show how Huckleberry Finn fits that category. And then in the end, who cares? Why does it matter, right? So what, we would say. And so this is not, you don't want to argue To Kill a Mockingbird is a great American novel. You don't want to argue that The Taming of the Shrew is a great play. It doesn't matter whether we think it is or not, okay? It's not worth arguing. We come down here. Here's another example of an inadequate thesis statement. And by the way, this is the one I see most often, this type of thesis statement, where it says, in Huckleberry Finn, Mark Twain develops a contrast between life on the river and life on the shore, right? Many thesis statements come into me like that. And I'm going to say, go one more step. What is that contrast? What is that contrast proving? Answer that question and you will have a thesis statement. That there is a contrast between the river and life on the shore seems evident. It's happening. But so what? What is that contrast? Why does it matter? Come down a little bit further, and now we have a thesis statement. Through its contrasting river and shore scenes, Twain's Huckleberry Finn suggests that to find the true expression of American democratic ideals, one must leave civilized society and go back to nature. Okay, we're not proving that this is true about American democratic ideals. We're proving that the novel suggests this. We're proving that the novel suggests that in order to find true expression of the ideals, one must leave civilized society. So then you would go through your analysis and show why that is happening in the novel. And then in your conclusion, you would then get into the implications of that, okay? Suggests is a great word to use in a thesis statement, okay? What is it doing? What does it suggest about the novel, about the play, about the poem, about the short story, okay? Notice you are staying away from the author and what the author is intending, and you are proving what the text suggests, okay? Now, I've also included, I'm not going to play it here, but I've included a video on YouTube that gives lessons for how to write a thesis statement. Everything on this video almost is completely incorrect, and yet I suspect it's what you have been taught. So when you watch this video, understand that every single thesis statement in here is wrong. Despite what the video is saying, it is an incorrect, uncomplicated thesis statement that you should not write. So if your thesis statement is emulating any of the thesis statements on the video, it is not a thesis statement for a literary analysis, okay? All right, so I hope that you found this video useful. If you're in the Shakespeare class, you will see that there is a literary analysis model here for The Taming of the Shrew that you might find helpful. Other than that, make sure that you read the essay prompt. Good luck with your essay, and I will be posting another video shortly.